there was a young lady over there that run the city to surf, and I said, I asked her, I said, how did you go? She said, oh, pretty good. I said, how long did it take? She said, I did it in 1 hour and 20 minutes. And at the bottom of that song, that John's done, he's reported that in 1988, he did it in 66.5 minutes. So, yeah. And in his first edition, The Lanes of Wooloomooloo, he's got a photo down the bottom, and that's the photo of Leyne, who owned the derelict house that Tanny and I bought in Glee. We bought it from this guy, and so Leyne was a returned guy from the New Guinea disaster. Anyway, Lanes of Wooloomooloo. Oh, then who's your mate, me Johnny lad, so drunk he can hardly stand, with his eyeballs staring so wildly and his violently shaking hands. His name is not for the naming, but his story, I'll tell you true. He's a child of the Great Depression from the Lanes of Wooloomooloo. Reared on bread and dripping and dollops of dole plum jam, dodged the police and his father's boot and his fare on the city tram. Mustered in the militia on the wharves of Wooloomooloo, fought disease and the Japanese in the summer of 42. Never you mind his shaking hands or his strangely twisted mouth. He was cut off at Templeton's Crossing when the Japs came storming south. He wept and prayed in the jungle, but God to his prayers was deaf. It was Choco, retreat on your bleeding feet. And where was the AIF? You'll find him now in Bell's Hotel or round by the Domain. You'll find him under a Moreton Bay, sleeping it off in the rain. You'll find him wandering William Street without any work to do. He's a child of the Great Depression from the Lanes of Wooloomooloo. He's a hollow, dirty derelict, abandoned by the fates. He souls at Templeton's Crossing with his dead militia mates. White Lady is his mistress. They fornicate and woo, spawning blind oblivion in the Lanes of Wooloomooloo. I guess you all know, and I think last year, it was just before we had this last year that they discovered a whole lot of new bodies at Templeton's Crossing on the Kokoda Trail. Haven't heard much more about that. And I've forced myself to have a little sip of White Lady. I'm not... You'd have to be bloody desperate compared with the good grog we've got, but methylated spirits and lemonade is... metho topped up with a bit of lemonade, and it's not a great drink. But anyway...